Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October the 26th. Good morning. This is your host, Gail Dudley, and this is your news in motion. So come on in the room, people. Let me know you're here. Come on in the room. So excited to be here with you this morning. I want to hear some of the praise reports that you may be experiencing because I know after yesterday, after the inspirational message, so many of you started either emailing me, inboxing me, or text messaging me. So I want to hear about those praise reports that are already, I believe they're already coming in. I've actually heard about 6 or 7 of them already. So just come on and share, come on in the room, let me know you're here. I am again so excited to be here. And we have something back by popular demand. Y'all are some spoiled people. Wherever you're coming in from, whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube Live or LinkedIn or iHeart or Spotify or wherever, I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, depending upon if you are watching live or on the replay. So, good morning to all of you, afternoon or evening. I am so grateful that you have allowed me to come in and hang out with you on today. So, welcome, 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 welcome. All right, y'all. First up, I need to hear about these praise reports. I'm sure they're coming in here. I see you all in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Lori and Jeffrey Allen James and Deborah and Kenya and Latrice and Shirley and Pastor Antoinette and Patricia Lyles. Yeah, that's one of the things that came back. I was like, y'all just got to call out names. I just won't go hours upon hours, but I got to call out names. So we are who we are. Some things you just have to keep. I tried real hard, but I wasn't able to do it. So I snuck them back in here. Good morning, Stephanie Burbridge Hall. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Hester. Let me know if God has answered any of your prayers. That's the first thing I want to know this morning. Have any of your prayers been answered? I know the prayers of the righteous availeth much, and we have been indeed praying for all of you. So just let me know. Let me know if there's been any answered prayer. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. Good morning, Rosanna Bivens. Good morning to you. I know God is moving. God is answering prayers in everything that God has been showing me specifically. So I'm really excited about it. And hear me, some answers have been no. Yes, there have been some answers that's just a flat out no, but I'm okay because I know it came from my Father in heaven. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kenya. Short answer, yes. Thank you, Kenya. Thank you for letting me know. Short answer, yes. That is great news. Hester saying, absolutely, God has answered my prayers. Y'all listen, He is moving. He is truly, truly moving. I had no idea yesterday that we was going to go as long as we did, but it didn't seem long at all. Good morning, Regina Shorts. Diane said yes, prayers answered. God is so faithful. I'm so excited about all of that. And I said, wow, we went an hour and 1 minute. And I said, but it didn't even feel that way. But there was a word I believe God wanted me to bring out. And then again, thanks to Mrs. Small, who Najama, who shared with us on yesterday. Please check out her book. Pastor Antoinette said yes, yes, and yes. Marion, good morning to you. Rosanna said God has been answering my prayers. Kenny Stanley said yes, he has. I am so excited about all of that, y'all. And listen, remember this excitement and remember this feeling that you have now that prayers have been answered, because the enemy's going to come. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. We have to remember that Jesus comes to bring life and to bring it in abundance, and we're about to reap that abundance over and over and over and over again, even in our difficult days. I see my brother. Good morning to you. Yeah, it's just amazing. All right, y'all. Today is Tuesday, October 26, 2021, and it's time for today's headlines on News in Motion. Yep, I am your host, Gail Dudley, and I am so excited that you allowed me just to spend a little bit of time with you in your Tuesday. Adrian says, yes, healing the body of a loved one of cancer. Amen. Amen. Good morning, Kimberly Graves. Diane said, I'll be ordering my book. I'll be ordering her book for your daughter for Christmas. Yes, that's what it's all about. Thank you. So again, I believe that that this News in Motion family is a little spoiled. We talked about that last week, and I think y'all changed and said, no, it's just love both ways. And I agree with that. So if you are tuning in for the first time, regardless of the platform that you're tuning in, This happened by mistake last year and it continued, and then I kind of gave it up. Well, it is back, y'all. Today is That's Happening Tuesday. Many of you have been asking for that, and I love it when y'all write in and say, hey, we need That's Happening back. So this is That's Happening Tuesday, all because you all have requested it and asked that I return to talking about That's Happening. Y'all said y'all still love Hello Somebody, which that comes in every now and then. But I realized, the team realized that y'all wanted That's Happening Tuesday to return. Good morning, Regina Short. So y'all, that's Happening Tuesday has returned as of this segment. The other thing that's coming through loud and clear, y'all are like, okay, we okay. I shared a little bit of this last week. You all are saying, okay, we okay with you having guests every now and then, but we just want the news. We just want to hear you and your relevant commentary about the news that's happening. All right, y'all, I'm giving into that as well. So see, this is good. This is good. I love when we're able to read your emails and it's not negative. You're like, hey, thanks for the show, or thanks for the inspirational message. But I just want you to know, I'm missing you the whole show. I don't know why, but okay, here I am. So we're going to do it. So it's just me today. It is just me today. I'm hearing y'all. We are hearing y'all. We are hearing what it is that you are asking for. The other thing that is going to be back by popular demand on this Thursday, we're going to have the panel. We've already started reaching out to different people to join the panel on this Thursday. We will have it. We're going to have it at the end of every month. And we'll recap and have conversation and dialogue and look at things that's happening. So you may be getting a call from me or one of the team members. Either say yes or no if you're able. If you can quickly respond, that's great when we reach out to you. That way we can go to the next person if you have to decline for whatever reason, and we're okay with that. The thing that we're asking you to have is a room that is well lit. So you have to have a room that is well lit, have minimal distractions, if at all possible, zero distractions. And then make sure you're looking behind the camera to make sure there's no dirty dishes, no clothes, things like that. So that's what we're asking. Great morning to you, Nawana. Great morning to you. Shirley's saying, yes, he has. My hubby and I are still here. Amen to that. All right, y'all, we got to get started. Let's get this party started. Y'all, you know what we do. Let's go. So let's see what's happening on That's Happening Tuesday. Do us a favor, share is free. Share the video. Say, hey, come check it out. If you've never seen News in Motion, or you haven't had an opportunity to really dive in, come join the family because we are here. All right, y'all. First up, no deal. President Biden said, no, I ain't doing that. Nope. President Biden blocks once again the former occupants' cover-up. President Joe Biden has rejected another request from his predecessor, Donald Trump, to cover up Trump's role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol that aimed to keep him in power despite losing the 2020 election. Y'all, if you have not read this article in Rolling Stone, you need to check it out. It is amazing. The person who did the research behind that article is thebomb.com. Biden already has rejected a request from Trump earlier this month where he tried to assert executive privilege over 47 documents that the House committee investigating the Capitol attack had requested from the National Archives. This is a direct report from HuffPost, but it's in Politico, it's in AP, it's in The Guardian, it's in New York Times, it's in many publications, but I wanted you to hear that direct quote right there from HuffPost. Dude, if you wouldn't have done it, you wouldn't need to hide anything. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, back to the drawing board. New York Times and Wall Street Journal, they are reporting that the Democrats are considering a new tax on billionaires to help pay for President Biden's social services and climate change plan. I don't know why we still hashing this out. Now, listen, y'all tried to go after, that's why we never really reported, because we could not get the gist of what was going on. First, they were going to bank accounts come next year with at least a $600 deposit or more. Now that has increased to $10,000, and they're looking at it to increase more because the community, the constituents are pushing back saying, how can you tax us? What if you're going after the billionaires and you're trying to get them taxed? Go after them. Don't play with the smaller people, although I don't think any of us are small. Don't play with the lower numbers to get the results that you want when you're trying to go after the billionaires in the first place. I hear you, Pastor Antoinette. Lock him up. Details of the plan remain sparse. They're really spotty right now as of yesterday. And negotiations over the overall spending package, they're pretty fluid. But the idea from the Senate Finance Committee Chair, Ron Wyden, is especially applying a more stringent version of the capital gains taxes on the billionaire class. Now, if you want to go back to the White House had to rethink its tax strategy after Biden admitted during a CNN town hall meeting last week that he simply doesn't have the votes to raise corporate taxes. He's like, I don't have the votes. And he's really speaking of Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. So he has those two senators. He knows he doesn't have the votes because they're trying to play hardball. And so he's like, I don't have the vote. So he was honest in a town hall to say, I don't have it. So he kind of like is following behind Speaker Pelosi. If I don't have the votes, I can't put it on the floor. That's a smart move, but we got to get some things done because the original plan being $3.5 trillion, now they're now taking it down to $2.2 trillion. Now there's talks of $1.85 trillion. Pretty soon we're going to be out the trillion. So I don't know what's happening there, but that's happening on Tuesday. Y'all, next, it will cost more this year. Hear me. Y'all, we have to plan. I've been talking about this since right before I took the break in August. So I came back in September and I'm still talking about it. Y'all, it's going to cost more, so you're going to have to plan. New York Times and the Consumer Price Indexes, they're reporting that nearly every component in the traditional American Thanksgiving dinner, including the disposable aluminum turkey roaster pans, the things that you do, the aluminum pans for the cornbread dressing or whatever else you do, all the way to coffee and pies will cost more this year. Yep, this report straight from the New York Times. Y'all, major food companies such as Nestle and Procter & Gamble have already warned consumers to brace for more price increases throughout this season. So y'all, for the next 2 months, the prices are going to go up. I'm sure they're playing around. Good morning, Gwendolyn. I'm sure they're playing around with this. And they're like, shoot, might as well get in on the game and go ahead and up these prices. So y'all, that is happening. Now, let me be very clear. It's not, the holiday should be about family, especially this year when we were really separated from family last year. But in addition to that, if you want to eat, I need to report these prices. So y'all know my thing about Pepperidge Farm, the herb cubes that I wanted. Well, I found some at Kroger's. I bought up 4 bags. Yes, I did. And this lady said, oh, where'd you find those? I said, over there. She goes, I've been looking for these for a couple of weeks. A worker at Kroger said, listen, I think that's all we're getting. So if you want them, you better get them now. You would think everybody heard like he was on a loudspeaker, because next thing I knew, I had my bags. The next thing I knew, that place was surrounded and they were all gone within seconds. So we're not saying this to say, hey, food and this is more important than family. That's not what I'm reporting. I'm reporting if you want to eat and you want to have that traditional type of Thanksgiving, plan and get what you see. If you see it while you're out, get it. The other thing that they're saying is that's becoming very sparse to get is elbow macaroni. The other thing is pet milk for the macaroni. So much is going away. I'm trying to warn you. All right. Now you can sit around and have cheese and crackers on Thanksgiving. And some people may like that. I don't know if Demia's on here or not, but I know she doesn't do the traditional Thanksgiving. But listen, if you do the traditional Thanksgiving that's happening, the other thing that's going sky high, and I went myself to look at the prices, y'all, turkeys are seriously high. Now, they seem to be a little bit bigger, but they're really high. They're really high. So y'all just plan. The other thing I'm asking all of you to do, start now. Y'all know my heart. Start right now. Start now by picking up extras for those who are experiencing food insecurity. Y'all know that's my heart. So pick up extra. Pick up extra, start identifying those families or collaborating with the organization, a church, a community, whatever, to make sure people won't go hungry. So I want you to all to do that as well. Think about people who are food insecure, big families, small families, even if it's a person, if it's one person. And then if you, I know we're still in a pandemic, so I'm very careful in saying this, but if you have an extra space at your table and you know someone is lonely because they have lost a loved one during the coronavirus, go ahead and start extending that invitation today. I want to see what some of you are saying. We don't do traditional dinners either. All right, Lori. Yes, Latrice Jones, toilet paper. I went down the aisle in Target. It's like it wiped out. I said, what is happening? Big turkeys pumped with hormones. You got that right, Hester. So y'all, that's, my heart coming back to the food. It really is to helping those who are food insecure. I'm still trying to get the guy from the National Black Farmers Association to come on and share with us, because y'all, there's really a problem. And although you may not be hearing about it as much anymore, because people move on, there's a topic and then we move on. But it is my goal to stay on topic with this food insecurity, not just for the holidays. If you notice, I've talked about it throughout the year, over the last year, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. Yeah, you're right, Diane Ladybug. Don't sleep on Big Lots. Stock up there. Y'all, also the dollar store. Y'all say what y'all want to now. They have now the dollar plus. Some stuff is $1.25 or $1.50, and some things can be $5. Allergies. Don't sleep on them. All right, y'all. Idaho mall shooting leaves 2 dead. This is the AP that's reporting. Y'all, this is happening in our report this Tuesday. Police say they exchanged gunfire with the suspect during a shooting at a shopping mall in Boise, Idaho, that killed 2 people and injured 4, including an officer. Boise Police Chief Ryan Lee said at a news conference, the shooting was reported about 1:50 p.m. on Monday, I believe that's Central Time, as well as a report that 1 person was shot down at that time. Now, how many Prince fans do I have on here? I know I am. Prince fans. Don't y'all miss Prince? Prince fans. Y'all, Minnesota's congressional delegation on yesterday that happened on yesterday, introduced a resolution, hello somebody, to award the Congressional Gold Medal to top superstar Prince, citing, hello somebody, Minnesota and American culture. This is the Associated Press has learned. The medal is one of the nation's highest civilian honors, and past recipients, including George Washington, the Wright brothers, Rosa Parks, Mother Teresa, the Tuskegee Airmen, and the Dalai Lama. And this came straight from Senator Amy Klobuchar. The world is a whole lot cooler because a Prince was in it. He touched our hearts, opened our minds, and made us want to dance. With this legislation, we honor his memory and contributions as a composer, performer, and music innovator. Purple reigns in Minnesota today and every day because of him. And again, that was a direct quote from Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar. So there it is. So that's happening for Prince. All right, y'all. Game 1 is happening tonight with the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros at 8 p.m. Now, before I go into, and that's happening Tuesday, and all these things are happening. Before I go into, because I do want to give you some voting information, as those of you who may not have voted early or you're getting ready to, and we go into voting on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, November the 2nd. Before I get into that, y'all, anti-Asian hate crimes rise by 76% since 2001. This is the FBI who's reporting. I like the purple hearts. Keep them flooding. I love that. Yes. I love y'all. Anti-Asian hate crime rise by 76%. This is the FBI reporting. Overall, the majority of hate crime incidents reported last year show that roughly 50% were Black people. So in 2020, roughly were 50% of Black people. Now, The rise in the anti-Asian hate crime rose to 76% since 2001. Last year alone in 2020, this is reported by the FBI, roughly 50% are Black people who were dealing with overall majority of hate crime incidents that were reported only last year. Now, 55% of known perpetrators of racial bias hate crimes were white. Now, some of you may say there's no surprise there. Okay, but it's very important to hear this. 55% of known, these are known, perpetrators of racial bias hate crimes were white. Those who were who experienced hate crime incident were 50% Black people as of just last year, 2020. Now, 21%, it's important for me to share this, 21% of those who participated in hate crime were Black or African American. I would love for someone to come on here and unpack all of this for us, because I think that is so important for us to understand what's happening and what we need to do and how we need to continue to look out for one another. All right, y'all, so those are the headlines. That's everything that's happening. I want to go into ballot measures. I was thinking the other day, if the viewers understood ballot measures, what is it? So first, let me give you a definition of what it is. And let me first give you some history and why I wanted to do some research on this. Because I noticed that more and more we're seeing less issues on the ballot, and more things are being handled in chambers. And before, as constituents, we had a voice in the matter, and it appears that our voice is being taken away. So when that happens, we got to look at what we call the ballot measures, okay? And here's the definition. In the United States, a ballot measure is a law, issue, or question that appears on a statewide or local ballot for voters of the jurisdiction to decide, which means we have a voice, we have a right. It goes onto a ballot, and we as constituents get to vote on that. Now, students, good morning. I know you're tuning in as well. Listen, if y'all know anybody who has not voted yet for this upcoming election, share this and tell them to tune in. I'm gonna give y'all a lot of information. Okay, so that's what a ballot measure is. Again, it's a ballot measure is a law, issue, or question that appears on the statewide or local ballot for voters of the jurisdiction to decide, which means we get the power, we get to decide these things. All right. Now I'm going to show you a chart, and I want you to pay attention to this chart, because this chart will probably shock you. Here's the chart. Now, here's the type of ballot measures. You'll see 2021, it gives you legislatively referred constitutional amendments, initiatives, veto referendums, legislatively referred state statutes, legislatively referred bond questions, automatic ballot referrals, commission referral ballot measures, advisory questions. And this all came from Ballotpedia. When I start doing research, that's my go-to, because I want to hear what they have to say. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the ballot measures from 2009 to 2021. Look at how those numbers keep fluctuating here. So in 2021, there are 39 ballot measures. But we got to talk about these ballot measures and where they come from and what's happening. So with that being said, from 1987 through 2017, there was an average of 50 statewide measures and an average of 11 states on the ballot in odd number years. This is what we call an odd number year. And this is why these local elections, including the school board, which I talked about last week, are so important. They are so important, y'all. Listen to me. They are so important. I want to show you something. And I want this to hurt you. I want this to hurt you. I really do. Now, and excuse me, we weren't able to get it to fill up the whole screen. Again, this comes from Ballotpedia. Look at 1989 and look where we are now to 2 years ago, 2019. So we don't have the graph yet, of course, for 2021. But notice what's happening. What you see here in this chart is that from 1989 down to 2019, they have been taking away our voices, making their own determinations and their own decisions within the chamber. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. Again, I gave you what it is. A ballot measure is a law, an issue, or question that appears on a statewide or local ballot for voters of the jurisdiction to decide. You will see from 1989 to 2019, they have taken away our decision. They're no longer asking us. They're finding a workaround. They're doing it on their own. They're doing it on their own. So hearing that, I want you to write in the chat. And if you are listening by audio, come check us out later or send me an email because I want to hear your thoughts on this, because this is where we need to continue to do the education. Students, I would love to hear from you as well. So what are your thoughts when I just showed you that chart? That is how much they're taking away our voices. Let me see. Sounds like Pastor Derek Holmes is visiting again. He knows this stuff. Let me tell you. Wow, that's scary. It is. Mike is saying the folks running right now ain't telling you what they plan on doing if they get in there. They're just posting signs and social media posts and having other politician friends promote them. You are absolutely correct. One thing that Derek Holmes and I talked about after the segment last week is that when you're not hearing from people, we don't see, they really don't have all the money for the ads and everything like that. But when you're not hearing from people, they're saying, let me just lay low because I more than likely will be a shoo-in. So you got to pay attention. Like, why aren't they talking? Why are they just on social media? Because if we're not following them on social media, we don't know what they're up to or what they're doing. But they are slowly taking away the constituents' voice, and they're no longer putting those ballot measures on the ballot box. They're deciding those things in the chamber. Listen, people, that should be a serious concern for all of us. It should be a serious concern. Y'all, from 2007 to 2017, the average dropped to 33 measures in 8 states. The 27 measures in 2017 set a 7-decade record for the lowest number of statewide ballot measure certifications. The last year in which there were fewer than 27 state measures was 1947. So from 1947 to 2017, that was the last time. So there have been progression. Now all of a sudden we're back on the decline. We need to be concerned about this. Why do I talk about this on News in Motion? Well, number one, this is one of the reasons why News in Motion came into existence, to talk about politics and talk about things like this, because it's about educating you as a voter. And we need to vote. Even if you have not registered, because it's too late to register to vote in the November 2nd election. But hear me, if you are not a registered voter, there is so much more that we need to think about than before. I pulled up these. I didn't pull them up. I got these in the mail. I was talking about school board last week. Now, this guy here, this is Olentangy. He says that as a school board member, and this is what we want to see. This is what we want to know. That's right, Adrian. That's happening. That is happening. He talks of this is what we want to see when people are running. He says, I want to fight for fair state funding for Olentangy schools, preserve fiscally conservative policy, foster responsive and respectful family school relationships, promote continued academic excellence. So then when you see this, you dig into this. Now, he's somebody, he's been around and he really knows what he's doing. He really knows. And I can't tell you to vote for, so I'm not going to say that. But he knows what he's doing. And he's giving you what he's doing. There's no hate stuff on here. There's nothing hate on here. Then here's the other dad. These are the dads in Olentangy. Here's the other dad. And he says, here are my top priorities. expanding mental health resources for the students, managing district growth responsibility, securing fair state funding to limit reliance on property taxes. Hello, somebody. Reducing community conflict over divisive issues. Experience matters. This is him. This is him. And he's doing it. He's been there. We were trying to reelect him. People want to reelect him again. I can't tell you to vote for. We're trying to reelect him because he's not giving us anything. Do y'all know there are now PACs for school board? I'm not for sure if I shared that with y'all last week or not, but there are now PACs for school boards. That's never happened before. What is this? So again, things will be decided in the chambers and in school board closed door meetings and things like that. That's already been decided. Even if there's town hall meetings or there's school board meetings, they've already decided. That's where they're going to. Y'all, did y'all see the decline on the ballot measures? This is happening. Kenya says, this is why it's important to be involved in your community. Let's pull that up. You are absolutely correct. And those who are listening by audio, let me share this. She says, this is why it's important to be involved in your community. All of your community school board perspectives come to our PTO meetings, and I was there to listen. You have to hear it. So even with, let me be honest, even with Brandon Lester, for Olenton, I love his bullet points. It's like, okay, expanding mental health resources. Now you see that, you may say, oh, great, that's what I want. Go deeper and find out, ask the question, show up at the meeting and say, well, how do you plan to do this? What makes you want this? What makes you want this on your platform? Are you seeing things? What are the numbers? Have you seen an increase? Do you know what's happening when it comes to mental health in the schools? Do you know how many children that are being affected? This is how you ask questions, people. Yes, I get passionate about this. This is my thing. I dig deep with this, y'all. This is what I do. This is most of my day. I am researching things like this all day long. So y'all, this is important. This is important. Even when he says securing fair state funding to limit reliance on property taxes. Tell me how you're going to do that. Are you going to tax me to do that? What's happening here? Yes, Mike Nicholson, buzz phrases and words. We have to do this. Yep, right here. This is it, y'all. This is it. This is it. You know, we can give y'all news headlines. I can give you that's happening news headlines all day on Tuesday morning, but I don't want to do that. I want to get to you what is at the root of what's going on, because that's how we are empowered. If you remember Pastor Derek Holmes last week, he talked about power is different than performance. We can perform and show up at protests, and these are his words. We can show up at protests, we can show up at town hall meetings, but the power is when we exercise our right to vote. And I believe his title was Why Go Vote? This is why we go vote. Kenya is saying, yeah, show up at the meetings and ask questions, because some folks just look on paper. Listen, paper is not enough, y'all. And she's absolutely right. Paper is not enough. Ask the tough questions. And if they avoid the question, that should let you know they don't know. That should let you know they don't know. I won't show you the negative ad. I'm just not going to do that. So let me just run over some of the things that are on the ballot measures that we're looking at. And I just want to show y'all this. And I hope you can see some of this. It may be kind of small, but this is across the country. So you have the Colorado Amendment. And then that's the custodial funding appropriation initiative. So then on Ballotpedia, you can click on these things and read it. Now, hear me. Y'all, sometimes they're 400, 500, 600 pages. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 pages. Just go. I think I did I did one of our Wednesday workshops when we were having those, where I showed you how to scan it and how to look for it and how to move forward with that. Then you have like creation of out-of-school education program and marijuana sales tax increase. Y'all, that's in Colorado. So if you're in Colorado, you need to look at these things. So many of us go into completing our ballot, and we don't even know these issues are on the docket. And we're like, what is this? And so then you just either skip it or you just play eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You cannot do that, y'all. Stop playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo when it comes to filling out your ballot. So I give y'all these resources. Yes, I'm passionate about it. I give y'all these resources, ballotpedia.org. Look, pull up a sample ballot. You can put in your state, you can put in your district. And here again, I'm going to throw shade. Don't be mad. Some of you don't even know your district. You should know your district. You should know your district. You should know everything that's going on in your district. Who's running, how they're voting, how they're living, their values, their morals, everything. You should know. So these issues are out there. So when you're on Ballotpedia, you can pull these things up so you're not guessing. So on here, we got Maine, you got transportation infrastructure bond, New Jersey, you have money for organizations amendment, and it says raffle money. Raffle money. Why is that a ballot measure? What is that exactly? You look it up. New York, allow for no excuse absentee voting amendment. Well, what is that? You know, these are the things we have to look at. New York City, council court jurisdiction amendment. All of these things. And then here's more. Texas, you know, there's a lot in here for Texas. There's just a lot. So y'all, it's there. It's there for us to look at. It's there at our fingertips. I won't go over. I have several pages that I was pulling to go over different states and things that are on here. I pulled out most of our states who are here on News in Motion. But y'all, there's a wealth of information right there. There's a wealth of information right there. And I hope you really think about it and share this with other people if they have not already gone in to vote, or even help to prepare them when we go into the primaries in 2022. And I want to hear from you all. Is this information I want to give it. But if you're not listening, then let me know so I can figure out how else I'm going to get this information out to people. But this is what I do. This is who I am. Yes, I can give y'all that's happening news headlines all day long. And those are just as important. But when it comes to our vote, the reason you see some of the headlines that you see is because of the way we are voting in every election or choosing not to vote. So you want to change the headlines? We got to change our vote. There it is. That's happening. Y'all, that's happening. All right, y'all, the inspirational message for today, you can see I went back to that terminology. The inspirational message for today is this. Don't stop moving forward. I know you're exhausted. I know you're tired, but don't stop moving forward. God knows the plans he has for you, plans to prosper you, to give you a hope and a future, not plans for destruction. So even when you think you're going down a destructive path, that's not the plan he has for you. So all you got to do is stop, turn around, get refocused, and move forward. But that's where we come in relationship. If we have a relationship with someone, a friendship, a brother, sister, mother, father, aunt, uncle, husband, wife, children, whatever it is, friend, we have to lift up each other. We have to say, you cannot stop moving forward. God knows the plans. You need to break that down for them. God knows where you are. God knows the plans he has for you. He had predestined this before you were even born. Before you were in the womb of your mother, God already had a plan for you. And now that you've come forth, he has to position you. You had to take a journey. You had to deal with some of the most craziest, sometimes horrific things to get you to where you are now. So now that you're here, I know you're exhausted. I know I've been exhausted, but here's the truth. We cannot stop pressing forward. We cannot stop pressing forward. We can't. We can't. All right, y'all, that's all I have for you today. I am Gail Dudley. If you know anybody who has not voted yet in this election, please share with them this information I share with you today. So maybe they'll go in with a different lens, a different vision. All right, y'all, make it a great day. Remember to stay well and make some bold moves.